Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to my Fallout 4 Mod Spotlight series, where today we are having a look at the AnotherOne Browning M1918A2 mod, which is being made by user Glorious Warrior. And what this, well, glorious little piece of work looks to add into the game is the real-world BAR. And I have had so much fun with this gun, as not only is it just a fun and entertaining weapon to use in the Commonwealth, but is of course, as mentioned, a real-world weapon, which I always love having these real-world historical guns. And as an additional bonus for me, I've actually shot one of these in real life. Probably one of the more fun guns I've ever shot in my days, and so very cool to play around with it here. So let's jump on over to our little display area and have a look at what we do get with the BAR M1918A2, which in its most standard sort of form will do 33 damage with a 308 round with a firing rate of 33, range of 203, accuracy of 79 for a weight of 12.9. Pretty hefty there, but a lot of good stats. And as you can see here, it's a pretty nicely made weapon, does definitely look the part for a BAR, and is just overall magnificent on that modeling and texturing. And for an even better time with this, we've got a load of different modifications available for you to really change up this gun and make it more useful into the later portions of the game. Now, sadly, not a whole lot of aesthetic options. There's really only one, the accessories thing there, but it is quite a nice one. And overall, though, just a lot of fun stuff. Now, as for how you do get your hands on one of these weapons, it's pretty darn simple. You'll be able to quite easily find one just in the world over at Fort Hagen. Specifically on the rooftop over in a corner by a dead soldier, you'll find one of these guns. Quite nice there. Now, you can also find them on gunners. It has been added into the level loot list for them, though I'll admit, so far in my playtesting, I have not seen one on a gunner. But on the mod page it says, so perhaps they're just kind of rarish and I haven't seen one yet. But of course, for me, cheats. Wonderful. Now, there is also a requirement for this gun, which is my one, I wouldn't even say complaint, but just weird thing about this weapon mod, as it does require, as a mod requirement, the ammo counter framework, which is a cool mod. But why you would add an ammo counter to a 1918 Browning automatic rifle is kinda weird. Neat and kind of Fallout, admittedly, putting on like a Nixie tube ammo counter on one of these things. But strange that it's a prerequisite. But oh well, let's go have a look at what we do get here for modifications. And start with the receiver category, where we've got the pretty typical stuff, from standard up to calibrated, all the way to the powerful hardened receivers, and also the option for a lot of these to have them either as automatic or semi-automatic, so you do have those options there. Very cool. Now, then in the barrel category, we've got three options of either the standard barrel, the commando barrel, or the short barrel for these things, which is very nice. Which I had a hard time debating which one of these to put as standard, because the short barrel here says standard, but the standard barrel is literally the name. So I went with that. Wonderful. Now then in the stock category, we've got either a short stock, a full stock, marksman stock, or recoil compensating. Always good. Then in the magazines, we've got a 20, 45, and 35 round magazine. In the sights, oh boy, you guys know me, I always love these categories when we got options, and we have options. I'm not going to go through them all because there's too many, but a lot of wonderful, great scopes. Though, honestly, I think one of my favorites is the unfolded sights, as it's just a different form of the standard iron sight, and they're pretty neat looking. I quite like them. Now, then the muzzle category, we've got a couple of different compensators, muzzle brakes, and silencers to choose from. Always lovely to have those there. Kind of weird putting a silencer on a BAR, in my opinion, but you know what? Hey, you do you. Next, in glow sights, we either have the option with the glow sights to either have none, or, yeah, have glow sights. And then we get to really the one and only aesthetic thing, and that is the accessories, where we can either have, you know, just the standard gun, a bipod, a carry handle, or both. And honestly, I love the look of these. They're great, especially the carry handle. So, woo for this. But yeah, it is the one aesthetic thing on here, and not changing any of the other stats. It just looks cool. Now then, after that, we get into the fire mode, which is interesting. When I first downloaded and was playing around with this mod, I figured this would be how you change from automatic to semi-automatic. No. A mode just makes it fire a little bit faster, so if you are going automatic, it's gonna go even faster, but also if you're using, you know, single shot semi-auto, it's still just gonna go faster. And the F mode is a lower firing rate, bigger firing delay, but a lot more control to the gun. So yes, just an interesting little thing there. Now then, we have two different counter categories. Again, I find it weird that this is a requirement, but it is still kinda cool. And this one, you can either have a rear counter of either a digital or Nixie tube, or of course nothing if you don't want one of the fancy little counters. And then the other one is a counter on the side of the gun, so you can kind of pick and choose. And we've got a number of different ones in there with different styles for you to, you know, pick whichever one you do like, so you have that ammo counter. And then finally, we have a damage modifier, which goes from either 0 to plus 90%, with sadly no requirements. You guys know my usual opinion on that. I wish there was something here to make it feel less cheaty, but hey, again, you do you if you want plus 90 to the damage. Fun times. Now let me go grab my different weapons over here, and let's take some shots at our range. And I actually need to change one of them up, because I realized just while I was talking there that I forgot to change this one. I wanted to make it an automatic, because I was testing both, and yeah, I forgot to switch this one back to an automatic. There we are. Lovely. So we can get all of the different modes. But let's start with our standard BAR here and take some shots. And there we go, a lovely weapon, good thud to these shots, quality smooth animation there for the reload, and just overall, a very, very accurate gun. Now I gotta admit, like I said earlier, I've shot one of these in real life, but I was a teenager. I remember it having more kick. This thing has like non-existent kick. I mean, it is a super heavy gun, but still, it feels like it should have more kick than this. But still a very fun weapon to play around with. You do gotta just love that thud to the shots, and overall, just, you know, nice to shoot that BAR. Now let's go over to the automatic one here and fire that. I did add the Nixie tube counter to the side, and yeah, that's that flip-up sight. I actually really quite like this thing. It looks just kinda neat. And fire. Beautiful. Who needs to aim when you have a fully automatic BAR with 45 rounds? It's just magnificent. And, you know, still quite an accurate gun, even with the full auto, as again, the thing really doesn't have a huge amount of kick to it. And just, I mean, that's just fun to shoot. And finally, I've got my suppressed recoil one, which was the most damage I could get on the gun without any additional perks at 81. So with perks, this would be a pretty decent gun into the mid-late, etc. game, and I do love this particular reflex sight. Very nice. And with the silencer, surprisingly sneaky for a gun that usually has such a massive thud to it. Lovely. Lovely indeed. Now let us, of course, get our usual Death Claw to have fun with here, and I think I'm gonna go back to the automatic because it's a BAR. If you're not shooting a BAR automatic, what are you doing with your life? Alright, let's get that and run away! Perfect. Let's see how this thing fares. Die, Death Claw! Okay, wouldn't help to hit you. Perhaps for this. Oh, there we go. I didn't even have to go through one whole magazine, and he's dead. Magnificent. Good times, good times. You do gotta love it. Let's spawn another one in for fun here, just because it's just such an entertaining gun to shoot. I've been having so much fun with this thing, because it's just a great time. And of course for me, it has brought back some of that nostalgia of going to ranges with firing historical weapons when I was a bit younger. which is pretty darn cool. And yeah, just always nice to see more of these sort of, you know, World War I to World War II and interwar guns being added into the game. It's always just a fun time. And again, who doesn't love a fully automatic BAR? That's just entertaining. But if you'd like to check out the mod for yourself, which I'd certainly recommend you go and do, you can have a look at the link in the description, as per usual. But that, my friends, is going to be it for this one today. Hopefully you all have enjoyed and you do come back for the next one. Hopefully we'll be looking at yet another wonderful mod. But until that time, thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one.